Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today. Look, if you're focused on truly understanding how wealth is actually built in the real world, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely shatter a myth that society has basically ingrained in us from day one, the idea that hoarding college degrees is the default path to financial freedom. Okay, let's dive into what actually works.
We've got a great roadmap for this explainer. Here is our agenda: the college degree illusion, why traditional education fails, the real metric of wealth, mastering your financial statement, the 50-30-20 budgeting rule, and finally, investing and debt management.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the college degree illusion.
Society is absolutely obsessed with collecting degrees, right? They pitch them as this ultimate golden ticket to success. But let's actually test that reality for a second. Imagine you walk into a bank, sit down with the manager, and ask for a 1 crore loan to expand a business. And to back it up, you proudly hand over your BTech degree as collateral. Are they going to give you the money? Absolutely not. There is just this massive disconnect between our academic achievements and actual real-world financial leverage.
The truth is, a degree cannot secure capital on its own, and it definitely doesn't guarantee wealth. But because society pounds the value of academics into our heads over and over, we completely overlook the actual document that bank managers and wealthy individuals really care about, and that's your financial statement. That is the real metric of leverage.
Moving right along to Section 2, why traditional education fails.
So why do we have such a massive blind spot here? Well, it really comes down to who is teaching us. Think about it. If you need surgery, going to a doctor makes total sense. But if a mechanic walked into the operating room holding a wrench, you'd probably run for your life. Yet when it comes to finance and entrepreneurship, we are essentially letting the mechanic do the surgery. We're trying to learn wealth creation from people who haven't actually built massive wealth themselves.
Now, teaching is an incredibly noble profession, and we have immense respect for educators. For sure. But realistically, a teacher earning 50,000 rupees a month, dealing with their own daily bills and liabilities, simply isn't living the life of a high-flying entrepreneur. You literally cannot expect underpaid employees to hand you extraordinary secret wealth-building tactics. They can only teach you what they know.
All right, Section 3, the real metric of wealth.
Since the traditional school system won't teach us this stuff, we have to look at the true scorecard of wealth ourselves. And it all boils down to 4 basic pillars. You've got income, which is money coming in, expenses, money going out, assets, which put money into your pocket, and liabilities, which drain it right back out. It sounds super simple, right? But the shocking truth is that in developing countries like India, up to 80% of people are living their lives in complete negligence of these exact mechanics.
So what does this all mean? Well, when you subtract your expenses from your income, you get your profit. But when you subtract your liabilities from your assets, you get your net worth. This is the ultimate number. If you want this number to go up, there is only one mathematical reality. You have to aggressively build more income-generating assets and ruthlessly reduce your liabilities. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking this requires some Wall Street-level math, don't worry. As Warren Buffett famously put it, if your IQ score is very good, then donate a little. Building your financial IQ doesn't require genius-level academic intelligence at all. It just requires a really focused, uncompromising understanding of assets versus liabilities.
Which perfectly brings us to Section 4, mastering your financial statement.
Now that we know what the scorecard is, how did the master players actually use it? Business titans like Ratan Tata and Mukesh Ambani strategically use debt to scale up. Imagine you have a business model with a 30% profit margin. Using 1 crore of your own money nets you 30 lakhs. Great. But if you have a rock-solid financial statement, you can leverage it to borrow 10 crores. Now you're making 3 crores in profit on that exact same margin. That level of extreme, explosive scaling is only unlocked by having a strong financial statement.
But to secure that kind of leverage from a bank, you have to be totally ruthless about what you classify as an asset. Robert Kiyosaki famously points out that a car is a liability. Society thinks driving a luxury car signals that you've made it, but in reality, they rapidly depreciate while bleeding you dry through fuel, maintenance, and insurance. True financial mastery is knowing exactly what feeds your bank account and what bleeds it.
Let's jump into Section 5, the 50-30-20 budgeting rule.
So how do we start building that perfect financial statement today? We start with your cash flow. The 50-30-20 rule is your golden baseline here. 50% of your income goes to your absolute needs, like food and rent. 30% goes to your desires, and a strict 20% minimum goes directly into savings. Getting the specific allocation right is incredibly crucial to master, especially if you're earning under 4 lakh rupees a year. Let's make this super concrete.
Imagine someone is earning 25,000 rupees a month. They save up for a few months, see 1 lakh sitting in their bank account, and suddenly think they can afford a brand new pair of 10,000 rupees shoes. But if we apply the rule, 30% of their 25,000 rupee monthly income is just 7,500 rupees. That is their absolute maximum monthly budget for desires. Blowing 10,000 on those shoes mathematically shatters their budget based on their actual cash flow.
And finally, Section 6, Investing and Debt Management. So what do we actually do with that 20% we're saving? Here is your 3-step financial IQ framework. Step 1 is budgeting. Basically, stop the unthinking waste of capital. This is a practice mastered by incredibly successful business communities like the Gujaratis and Marwadis. Step 2 is investing. Start with ETFs, then maybe scale up to real estate. You cannot just let your money sit there because inflation will eat your idle cash alive. And step 3 is mastering debt.
Look, debt is not inherently evil, you just have to know the difference. Good debt means borrowing money to buy a home or to expand a profitable business. You're leveraging money to acquire real assets. Bad debt? That's financing a depreciating iPhone or taking out a high-interest personal loan for an emergency just because you neglected to buy health insurance. Bad debt will actively destroy your financial statement.
If you execute these steps, you build exactly what a bank manager is begging to see. You've got a track record of regular, increasing income, you prove that your expenses are focused on actual expansion rather than frivolous desires, and you have a growing portfolio of income-producing assets. By managing your debt responsibly, your CIBIL score completely skyrockets, proving your statement is ready for the exact kind of real-world leverage we talked about earlier, the leverage that creates true wealth.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to really reflect on today. Take a hard look at where you are directing your time and your money right now. Are you spending your whole life collecting paper degrees, just crossing your fingers and hoping someone else will hand you success? Or are you focused on mastering your financial statement, controlling your budget, and building real tangible assets? The choice is entirely yours, but only one of those paths mathematically leads to real financial freedom. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep building those assets, and I'll see you next time.